Hello, and welcome to the Classroom Connection, the show that takes you inside Marion County Public Schools. I'm your host, Julie Shealy, filling in this month for Kevin Christian. Coming up on today's show, it's our part 3 in our series about the Pathways to Prosperity program at Dunellen High School. We take a look at the Magnet Expo and what it means to parents searching for the right school for their children. And we catch up with basketball legend who was once a student in this district and has now returned to be a teacher. But first, the school board recently approved a language for a property tax increase to go on the November ballot. Joining us now to explain a little more about this property tax is Teresa Boston Ellis, our Executive Director of Finance. Good morning, Teresa.
Good morning, Julie.
Can you tell us, what is this tax? What does it mean for the public?
What it means for the public is the programs that were reduced in the past 5 or 6 years due to budget cuts. It will allow the community to contribute for a millage increase for 1 mil. And what that will do is allow those programs to be increased as far as those funds would go.
Okay. And how much money do we expect to get from this tax?
The millage is based on the property values in Marion County. But if you use our current property values, it would generate about $14.8 million over a 4-year period. So that would generate over almost $60 million.
Wow, over a 4-year period?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So as a taxpayer, I'm going to see this be part of my property taxes, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And I guess, is there anything that the money can't generate?
Yes, this is for operational purposes, which includes things like teacher salaries and benefits. It can also be used for supplies, but this millage has specific language that requires it to enhance our reading programs, also art, music, media, and technology, as well as helping with class size reduction and improving programs to maintain full-time teachers, highly qualified and certified teachers, and some instructional support.
Wow, so it really does go across the whole gamut, doesn't it?
Correct.
That's wonderful.
Right. The only thing we can't use it for is for capital type expenditures, which is acquisition of land or buildings or repair and maintenance.
The previous tax items, such as the half-cent sales tax from years ago and the 2 unsuccessful half-mil increases from 2012, had a set lifespan. Is this the same with this item?
Yes. The lifespan for the millage will be 4 years, but the board can submit a request to the county commissioners and to the voters to renew it after 4 years.
Oh, okay. Well, what happens if it doesn't pass? Is there a plan B?
The plan B is that we will continue to monitor expenditures, and we'll also have to continue to limit those expenses that the resolution included, such as art, music, media, PE. Mm-hmm.
So we would have to continue with what programs we're doing now in some of the limited ways.
Correct.
Without this, okay? Mm-hmm. And now this goes on the November ballot, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and this is something that all taxpayers, all voters can choose to do.
Correct.
Okay, well.
This will be submitted to the county commissioners. That's the next step. Mm-hmm. And then they will present it to the voters in November of 2014.
Okay. Well, maybe we ought to take our little vans down there to the county commission and make sure that they understand how important it is for us to be able to get our mill tax.
I think the community has expressed an interest in promoting these programs, and if they are interested, that is something that we should do as a community.
Thank you so much for sharing with us this important information about the mill tax, because I think all of us need to know, and I know what work you and your department do in finance, and thank you so much for everything you do to make sure that we have the little money we have to support our schools.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here.
Okay, great. Thanks. It's February, and that means it's time to honor the best teachers in our district with the annual Golden Apple Awards. The first week of the month, a caravan of administrators, media, and staff from the Public Education Foundation go around surprising 5 teachers who were selected as Golden Apple winners and 1 Rookie Teacher of the Year. One of the 5 Golden Apple recipients is then named Marion County's Teacher of the Year at the Golden Apple Gala, which is televised live here on the Marion Education Channel on the 21st of February and replayed several times over the following few weeks. It will also be available on our YouTube page, as will this and all other Classroom Connections. You can find us by going to YouTube and searching for Marion County Public Schools MCPS Media. The 5 Golden Apples and the Rookie of the Year will all be featured in next month's Classroom Connection. But teachers can't do it alone. There are lots of unseen staff who daily contribute to our children's education either directly or indirectly. They were honored last month with their own surprise caravan, visiting the 5 finalists for School-Related Employee of the Year. Then on the 30th, they all gathered for a luncheon to announce the district winner.
School-Related Employee of the Year, Ms. Norma Hunt from College Park.
Congratulations to Norma Hunt from College Park Elementary. Here's Joel Hartley to tell us a little more about her.
I assist and support the teacher in making instruction comprehensible to our ESOL kids. I help them in their in-seat work when they're sitting at their class. I also try to help them to understand the teacher's instruction. When she finishes or he finishes, because I work with other classes, a skill, I try to take them back in a small session and make them, reteach them again, so see if they understood what they did.
An ESOL paraprofessional at College Park Elementary, Norma Hunt works with a particularly challenged group of students, those who are learning English at the same time they're learning their lesson.
It is really a challenge because sometimes it's so hard for them to understand and to get exactly what the teachers is, the skill they're learning, sometimes it's so difficult.
Hunt insists her students read, speak, and learn exclusively in English, only reverting back to Spanish as a last resort.
A verb. What's a verb, by the way? You guys forgot what's a verb?
A verb is
Un verbo. ¿Qué es un verbo? Un verbo en español. Abraham, ¿tú sabes qué es un verbo? You know what's a verb? A verb is an action verb. I don't want them to think in Spanish. I want them to start thinking in English. And that's why I work with English first. As much as I can, I do all my actions and everything in English. When I see they're like, can't get it, then I go back to Spanish. And I explain it to them in Spanish, and then they get it, and then we go back to English.
It's a technique she believes in because she's seen it work firsthand.
My kids were brought up in Venezuela. They spoke Spanish. At home, we spoke only English. And it was like a rule, a law. As soon as you hit that door, forget Spanish. You speak English. We came to the United States about 2000. And it's amazing how that English, even though they did not know to write it completely, but they read books, everything was in English, even TV was in English, because I knew Spanish was going to be their language. They came into the United States, that English they learned at home made them graduate here in the United States. They're all graduates from the university. So I think that's what we have to do with our kids. We have to make them fluent in English. Spanish, they're going to have it at home, but we have to focus more on their fluency in English.
Hunt also serves as the school's translator, making the phone calls home to Spanish-speaking parents.
Buenos días, señor Pedro. ¿Es usted el papá de Kevin?
As a paraprofessional, she has a lot of different jobs to do, but by far, her favorite is working with the children.
Oh, I love being with my kids in the classroom. That's my best job. When they have to take me out, I'm not very, but I like working with them. I like to help them to read. I also work with math with another class. As soon as I leave here, I go to another classroom. I like to see them when they learn something and they get it. It's like, oh my God, they got it. Right now I have something very special. I have a little girl. She's an ESC, but also an ESOL. So I go into her class with Miss Latta later on, And she finally got to understand how to divide, but division is hard, right? She got it. And yesterday she said, Miss Hunt, I got it. And I saw her doing it. She has all the steps. I've been going steps by step. Finally, she got it. These are things that really make me happy.
Congratulations again to her and other finalists. Meredith Dukes from Hillcrest, Kathy Clark from Lake Weir High, William Tenney from Lake Weir Middle, and Chris Douglas from Osceola Middle. And thanks to all the support staff for all they do. Someday, Grace Daley may add a golden apple to her closet full of awards. Quite possibly the best women's basketball player in Marion County history. The Lake Weir and WNBA alumni is now a kindergarten teacher at Fessenden Elementary and having as much fun in the classroom as she once had on the court. Chadwick Pierce has her story.
Grace Daley is a product of Marion County, after having played 4 years of varsity basketball at Lake Weir High School. After a 4-year Hall of Fame career at Tulane University, she spent 7 seasons in the WNBA before becoming a teacher right back here in Marion County. And she would not have made the transition from the court to the classroom anywhere else.
This is still home. So no matter how far I went away, my mom was always still here, my dad was always still here. I have a brother that still lives in town. This was always home. And it just seemed like a natural progression to when I had a choice as to where I wanted to end up and start a new career, I would choose Ocala.
That new career, even for a veteran hometown girl, wasn't exactly an easy layup.
There were some budget cuts in the county, and I ended up getting laid off. And that actually worked out in my favor because initially when I got into education, I always wanted to be a kindergarten teacher. But when I checked for the job openings, I saw an opening for physical education, and one of my sisters said, hey, that'd be a great idea. So I pursued the physical education route just because my sister suggested it. But I really went to school and wanted to be a kindergarten teacher. So when these layoffs happened, there were kindergarten openings at various schools in the county. And I put my name in for those, and I was chosen to be a kindergarten teacher at Fessenden Elementary School.
There is a reason why Daley has a special place in her heart for the little rookies of the education system, her kindergartners.
I've always enjoyed working with children, and especially the younger ones, because at that age when they're 5, first of all, it's their first experience with school. If we can develop a love for learning at that age, chances are they're going to make it all the way through high school, potentially through college, and pursue wonderful careers and just live out their dreams. So I want to instill a love for learning at their first entrance into school, and that's kindergarten. They're sponges. They learn everything you teach. I have yet to meet the child who hasn't been able to learn what I've taught. Because if they can't learn it, that means I just have to teach it in a different way.
Being a team player is crucial in all walks of life, especially when it comes to teaching. Daley does not do this alone.
Actually, I'm a part of a team. We're called the Be Smart team. It's myself and a doctor that's been working in the county for over 10 years, Don Bovell, and his wife, Ann Burnett. The 3 of us collaborated and came up with this program to just get kids excited about health and fitness and making smart choices regarding their life.
What do these boogie breaks have to do with academics? More than you think.
In my classroom, if I'm ever having a moment of, wow, I don't know if I'm getting through to them, and maybe they're kind of looking like they're getting spaced out, I will say, okay, let's take a break. We'll put on one of these boogie breaks. The kids will get up, they'll get jumping, they'll get moving. When they sit back down again, they're now refocused and ready to learn.
Daley does not refer to her room as a classroom. It is something completely unique.
They're walking into a learning party, is what I'll say it is. And what I do is I write my own music. So I decide, okay, I need to teach them this skill. If we need to learn how to add, or if we need to learn about the calendar, or if we need to learn about gravity, those concepts, I will write lyrics that are specific to those topics, and I will choose tunes that I know already are catchy and will stay in their head.
The all-time leader in points at Lake Weir High is now trying to score in another way.
Our goal is simply to help kids learn and to get the message out, the message of good health and fitness, and if in any way we can relate this to specific academic subjects, we also do that, but we know that just getting these kids up out of their seats and moving is going to enhance their learning experience in all subjects.
Daley hopes the Boogie Breaks will soon expand and across different grade levels and different subject matter. She said she gets a lot of her inspiration listening to the radio in her car. Well, some Marion County students are putting inspiration on cars thanks to the Kids Tag Art program, started by the Marion County Tax Collector's Office. Joel Hartley has more.
A graduate of Marion County Schools, tax collector George Albright 2 years ago decided to help support art education by borrowing an idea from another county.
Well, we saw this done in Polk County, and it was a raving success down there. They were certainly meeting a need that was not being met, and that's the deficiency in funding for the arts. So when we had a chance to help the art situation out with something so much fun, and to have such a significant financial return on it, we jumped at that chance.
Our art programs last year benefited funding-wise. They shared over $13,000, and this year I think it's going to be over $15,000 that the programs will share.
Much of that money comes from sponsors like Jenkins Auto Group, which gave Breanne Inman first choice from among the 60 top tags.
When I walked in, they were laying them out, and the owl I saw the owl and I said, wow, that's a really good job. I like the detail and the vibrant colors, and I think it's simple. It's not, a lot going on, and I just liked how it looked.
Schools can also receive funds from the sale of the tags.
The schools also can choose to do a fundraiser with this program, and any student can get their tag printed for, parents can purchase them for gifts for aunts and uncles and grandparents.
Fifth grade students from all 30 elementary schools produced art for the program. The art teacher at each school then selected the top 5, and from that 150, retired art teacher Ruth Dexheimer helped narrow the list down to the 60 from which the awards of distinction were chosen.
We had to pick from the 5 that the art teachers had already picked. We got to pick the top 2, which was extremely hard to do. There were excellent choices, and so that was really hard. We had to narrow it down just based on my keyword was making it pop, making it interesting, making it something that people would notice on cars, and that was fun. And I got to look at a lot of children's art, which I love doing.
She sees this program as not only an injection of cash for the art programs, but also a morale boost for the teachers.
That's wonderful. It's got to lift up the art teachers because they're being pulled in many directions. They have less time, less money, and more to do every year, and they keep going on and on. The art teachers are phenomenal.
Albright doesn't just talk the talk of supporting art education, he walks the walk, or at least drives it.
The vehicle that I drive here in at the tax collector's office, the one that I pick, which is this one, will be a facsimile of it will be on the front of my vehicle.
This program shows that the community supports the arts, not only monetarily, but also the fact that there's so many agencies that work together to make this program a success.
You can order one of the student-created license plates by going to the tax collector's website and selecting Kids Tag Art at the bottom of the About Us drop-down menu. Surprisingly, none of the tags honored with awards of distinction came from Madison Street Academy, our performing arts magnet elementary school. However, several works of arts produced by its students, as well as some of the students themselves, were on display last month at the 8th Annual Magnet Expo. The event, hosted by Marion Technical Institute, showcased the magnet programs at 14 of our elementary, middle, and high schools, and Joel Hartley caught up with a couple of parents to find out what they thought of the event.
Robots, dancers, paintings, all were on display at the Magnet Expo, giving children and parents an idea what each of the 14 magnet schools in Marion County specialize in, and which one might be the best fit for them. You have a 5-year-old who likes to draw, sing, and dance? Madison Street just might be the place for you. You want a rigorous, internationally renowned academic education throughout your years in school? Then maybe you should start at Oakcrest Elementary, transition to Howard Middle, and then finish up at Vanguard High, staying in the IB program the whole way. That's what brought Christopher Ewing and his 6-year-old son to the expo.
He was tested at Maplewood to find out where his capacity was, and he's exceeded their expectations. So they told us we needed to come here, find out what schools we could possibly get him in. We found out there was a whole other school we didn't even know about. We knew of 2, and found out there was a 3rd one. So ultimately it's about improving his education level for a 6-year-old that continues to advance and exceed our expectations as well.
Cheryl Tomlinson came back to the expo because it was so beneficial to her and her son in the past.
Well, one of the things that really made a difference to us last year when my son was in 7th grade is he got to come and speak to some of the high school students. And the high school students that are here representing their programs, they have a lot of pride, they're well spoken, they're excited about what they're doing, and that is infectious to the kids.
The whole idea of a magnet program is to draw students from outside the school's normal area. But only students inside that area are provided with transportation services, and that can be a problem.
All of these programs, most of them, if you're out of area, transportation can be an issue. So one of the things I was trying to find out tonight is what kind of flexibility is there. If the bell rings at 9:20, does that mean your child can't come to school until right about that time, or there's study groups ahead of time? And so what I learned tonight is, the teachers who teach these programs are so dedicated. They come in early, they open their classrooms to kids who want to have study time before. So that has helped our decision-making process as well, when you just get to talk to the teachers and hear their commitment level and maybe some of the flexibility your child would have either to get help or, as I mentioned, in terms of like drop-off times and just scheduling everything.
Both parents agree the Magnet Expo is a great way to open people's eyes to the variety of programs available throughout the district.
Well, it reinforced that we're blessed to be in a community that has so many choices. I think the first time we came, I was more interested in looking at high school programs, and I had no idea the diversity that all the schools offered.
Very much so. To get it more out there into the public's mind of what's available, I think it's going to ultimately be helpful in the end.
Parents, be sure to check with any magnet school you're interested in having your child attend to find out about any application deadlines. Over the last couple of months, we've shown you the real-world exposure some juniors at Dunellen High have been getting thanks to the Pathways Prosperity Program. In Part 3, we tag along as they look not so much at vocational opportunities after high school, but more at the continuing education options available to them.
After trips to job sites like a restaurant, a manufacturing plant, and an equine hospital to get a look at potential jobs after high school, the Pathways to Prosperity students shifted gears to post-high school education, either academic or vocational, with a visit to the College of Central Florida and the Community Technical and Adult Education Center. CTAE may not offer training for the jobs people dream about growing up, but it does offer training for the good jobs people wind up with once reality sets in.
I remember as growing up, I always thought about being a lawyer, becoming a lawyer, a doctor, going into professional sports. So a lot of the careers that we have here are not those things that you think about or dream of, but they're real opportunities that the students have to go to school for a year or less, maybe 2 years or less, and actually go into a job and make a great wage that they can support their families and themselves as they get older. There's some programs here where they'll start off anywhere from $9 to $10 an hour, but there are programs that they will start off in the 20s. I can remember starting off, I didn't start off in the 20s. That was after 4 years of college. So with a short-term program, they're able to start off making anywhere from the teens to the 20s on average.
Some of the programs at CTAE allow co-enrollment. Similar to dual enrollment, where you earn high school and college credits at the same time, it allows students to graduate with a high school diploma, a vocational degree, and enter the workforce almost simultaneously.
A lot of our programs will require a high school diploma. So if it requires a high school diploma in advance of the student starting the career, they would not be able to go through that program. But for programs that do not require a high school diploma, some of those programs are eligible depending on the student's schedule, and then they're able to finish the program before they finish high school or at the same time that they finish high school. And then once they finish high school, they're able to go straight into a career.
For those students not so eager to enter the workforce right away, college is an option as long as you're prepared for it. During their visit to CF, campus ambassadors took them on a tour and tried to make sure they realize college is a lot like Oz. You aren't in Kansas anymore.
I try for them to understand that everything that they are used to now, as far as their assignments, when they turn them in, as far as their studying habits, all of that completely changes when you come to college, because sometimes they come in here and they're like, oh, you know, this pretty much just looks like high school, or it'll be fine and the classes will be fine, but you know, it's important to really take a look at considering, you know, what it really is like comparing college to high school, because it is a whole different ballgame.
The tour of the campus, particularly the Child Development Program, did the trick for at least one Dunellen Jr.
It made everything look easier, I guess. Like, I was scared and nervous, but now it doesn't seem as much. And it seemed more fun than I thought it'd be. I thought it'd be just classwork or something, but you actually hands-on with the kids. I don't know, it made college not seem so scary. It inspired me to actually graduate high school and to go here to college and get my bachelor's and to hopefully own a daycare.
Childcare, cosmetology, rocket science, no matter what a student is thinking about doing, there's one thing they all should do.
Students should really explore the opportunities that are out there. There's so many opportunities. I mean, we have 20 plus opportunities, 23 opportunities currently, and there are thousands of other opportunities that are just out there waiting for someone to take advantage of. There are career fields out there that have not even been discovered that 2 years from now are going to be available when these students graduate. So just really kind of go out there and find what they want to do, because I mean, one thing, and I can speak on this, is that I had an idea of what I wanted to do going into college. Once I got there, I realized I had not really prepared myself for that, so I had to choose some other options. Where if you go ahead and do that homework now, find out what you need to know. If you're going into medical, find out that you need to know what you need to know about the medical field, like taking anatomy and physiology and chemistry and biology, and being ready for those programs, so that once you finish and you get into those areas of study in post-secondary, you're prepared.
This month, we'll tag along as they take a look at the medical industry and bring that to you in the April show. It's often said if you want to get something done or you find out what's going on, you don't go to the boss, you go to their secretary. And that's true at our schools. As a former principal, I can tell you just how vital a good school secretary is. To do a job like that, you really have to love it. Therefore, we feature a school secretary in this month's Why I Love My Job segment.
I've worked here as the bookkeeper for 13 years. 5 years ago, our secretary went into the drop program, and so I knew at that time that this was what I wanted to do. So I waited 5 years for her to retire, and December 20th was her retirement date. And so when I came back January 6th, since that time, so for the last 4 weeks, I've been acting as the secretary of the school. My main concern is making sure that there's teachers in the classrooms. So that's the first thing I do when I get here. There's paperwork involved in all of that. After that, it seems like my day is just filled with sometimes mini crises, but mainly keeping teachers in the classroom. Sometimes they get sick during the day and have to go home, and I have to scramble and find somebody to fill in until I can get a person in that position. And then there's finance things that have to be taken care of, the district budget, which is really exciting for me because for 13 years I handled internal funds, and so now I'm getting to see the district side of the budget, and I like that. That's my background, is bookkeeping, and so I've been enjoying seeing how we can use our money more efficiently. I have to say what I love most is the fact that we have an incredible administration, and they have different talents, different skills, but they all work for the common goal of helping our children achieve, helping our students achieve, and I think, and to be successful. And I think that that really shows in the fact that we were an ACE school last year.
And finally today, we check in with Superintendent George Tommen for his thoughts.
The month of February is usually the coldest month in the state of Florida, and right here in Marion County our temperatures have dropped. But things are heating up in the Marion County public school system. March and April are our big testing seasons here, and during the month of February and March we begin the last-minute preparations for all of our students to take the various kinds of assessments that they take over the year. And this is indeed a very important time for them. Teachers are doing last-minute things and getting our students ready, and I'm certain that our students will excel on all of these assessments. And while we're here talking a little bit about assessments, I want to change topics just a little bit and talk about something that's been making the news a great deal in the state of Florida, and that is something called the Common Core State Assessments. And this hot topic in our news these days is being confused with a lot of different things. We cannot confuse Common Core State Standards with assessment, nor can we confuse it with curriculum or the selection of textbooks. The Common Core State Standards were founded by the governors of all of our states and the chief state executive school officers of all of our states. 45 of our states have bought into and have signed off on adopting the Common Core State Standards. These standards will assure that all of our students maintain high standards of learning, will put us on a level playing field with other countries around the world, will give us an opportunity to compare the educational value that students receive in various states, because we'll be able to look at them from the same microscope. We think it is a very good thing here in the state of Florida. The State Superintendents Association is very in favor of the Common Core Standards, and our administration here in the Marion County school system is 100% behind the Common Core State Standards. So as you listen to the various discussions, please remember that this is good stuff for our kids. It will raise our standards and ensure that our students receive a world-class education.
Thank you, Mr. Tommen, and thank you for joining us today. We hope to see you right back here next month for our annual Golden Apple edition of the Classroom Connection. Until then, remember to be there for your child every day.